was unpleasant as the noise of a bandsaws cutting galvanized tin. It was loud, too. Oh, yeah, she said. Everybody froze. Bunny Hoover stopped playing the piano. Nobody wanted to miss a word. You don't think much of Mary Alice Miller, she said. Well, we don't think much of your painting. I've seen better pictures done by a 5-year-old. Karabekian slid off his bar stool so he could face all those enemies standing up. He certainly surprised me. I expected him to retreat in a hail of olives, maraschino cherries, and lemon rinds. He was majestic up there. I now give you my word of honor, he said. The picture your city has just bought shows everything about life which truly matters, with nothing left out. It is a picture of the awareness of every animal. It is the immaterial core of every animal, the I am to which all messages are sent. It is all that is alive in any of us, in a mouse, in a deer, in a cocktail waitress. It is unwavering and pure, no matter what preposterous adventure may befall us. The sacred picture of St. Anthony alone is one vertical, unwavering band of light. If a cockroach were near him, or a cocktail waitress, the picture would show two such bands of light. Our awareness is all that is alive and may be sacred in any of us. Everything else about us is dead machinery. Citizens of Midland City, he said, I salute you. You have given a home to a masterpiece. Dwayne Hoover insisted he wasn't taking any of this in. He was still hypnotized, turned inward. He was off his rocker. He wasn't playing with a full deck of cards. It was now high time, I thought, for Trout to meet Dwayne Hoover, for Dwayne to run amok. Kilgore Trout entered the cocktail lounge. Dwayne Hoover was still mentally absent from activities in the cocktail lounge. He sat like a lump of nose putty, staring at something long ago and far away. Dwayne moved his lips as Trout sat down. He was saying this soundlessly, and it had nothing to do with Trout or me. Goodbye, Blue Monday. The bartender in the cocktail lounge now flicked on the ultraviolet lights in the ceiling. Bonnie McMahon's uniform, since it was impregnated with fluorescent materials, lit up like an electric sign. So did the bartender's jacket and the African masks on the wall. So did Dwayne Hoover's shirt and the shirts of several other men. The reason was this. Those shirts had been laundered in wash day products which contained fluorescent materials. The idea was to make clothes look brighter in sunlight by making them actually fluorescent. When the same clothes were viewed in a dark room under ultraviolet light, however, they became ridiculously bright. Bunny Hoover's teeth also lit up, since he used a toothpaste containing fluorescent materials, which was supposed to make his smile look brighter in daylight. He grinned now and appeared to have a mouthful of little Christmas tree lights. But the brightest new light in the room by far was the bosom of Kilgore Trout's new evening shirt. Its braids twinkled and had depth. It might have been the top of a slumping open sack of radioactive diamonds. But then Trout hunched forward involuntarily, buckling the starched shirt bosom, turning it into a parabolic dish, which made a searchlight of the shirt. Its beam was aimed at Dwayne Hoover. The sudden light roused Dwayne from his trance. He thought perhaps he had died. At any rate, something painless and supernatural was going on. Dwayne smiled trustingly at the holy light. He was ready for anything. And I sat there in the cocktail lounge of the new Holiday Inn, watching Dwayne Hoover stare into the bosom of the shirt of Kilgore Trout. There in the cocktail lounge, Dwayne Hoover's bad chemicals suddenly decided that it was time for Dwayne to demand from Kilgore Trout the secrets of life. Give me the message, cried Dwayne. He tottered up from his own banquette, crashed down again next to Trout, throwing off heat like a steam radiator. The message, please. And here Dwayne did something extraordinarily unnatural. He did it because I wanted him to. It was something I had ached to have a character do for years and years. Dwayne did to Trout what the Duchess did to Alice in Lewis Carroll's Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. He rested his chin on poor Trout's shoulder, dug in with his chin. The message, he said, digging in his chin, digging in his chin. Trout made no reply. He had hoped to get through what little remained of his life without ever having to touch another human being again. Dwayne's chin on his shoulder was as shattering as buggery to Trout. Is this it? Is this it? Said Dwayne, snatching up Trout's novel. Now it can be told? Yes, that's it, croaked Trout. To his tremendous relief, Dwayne removed his chin from his shoulder. Dwayne now began to read hungrily, as though starved for print. And the speed reading course he had taken at the Young Men's Christian Association allowed him to make a perfect pig of himself with pages and words. Dwayne Hoover got to his feet now, having ripped down tens of thousands of words of such solipsistic whimsy in 10 minutes or so. He walked stiffly over to the piano bar. What made him stiff was his awe of his own strength and righteousness. He dared not use his full strength in merely walking, for fear of destroying the new Holiday Inn with footfalls. He did not fear for his own life. Trout's book assured him that he had already been killed 23 times. On each occasion, the creator of the universe had patched him up and got him going again. Dwayne restrained himself in the name of elegance rather than safety. He was going to respond to this new understanding of life with finesse, for an audience of two, himself and his creator. He approached his homosexual son. Bunny saw the trouble coming, supposed it was death. He might have protected himself easily with all the techniques of fighting he'd learned in military school, but he chose to meditate instead. He closed his eyes and his awareness sank into the silence of the unused lobes of his mind. Ray Bocarabekian and Beatrice Keedsler and Bonnie McMahon all grabbed Dwayne now, pulled him away from Bunny. This increased Dwayne's glee. Never hit a woman, right? He said to the creator of the universe. He then socked Beatrice Keedsler on the jaw. He punched Bonnie McMahon in the belly. He honestly believed they were unfeeling machines. There was a map of Dwayne's rampage in the paper the next morning. The dotted line of his route started in the cocktail lounge, crossed the asphalt to Francine Pefko's office and his automobile agency, doubled back to the new Holiday Inn again, then crossed Sugar Creek in the westbound lane of the interstate to the median divider, which was grass. Dwayne was subdued on the median divider by 2 state policemen who happened by. Here's what Dwayne said to the policeman as they cuffed his hands behind his back. "Thank God you're here." Listen, Dwayne Hoover hurt so many people seriously that a special ambulance known as Martha was called. Martha was a full-size General Motors transcontinental bus, but with the seats removed. There were beds for 36 disaster victims in there, plus a kitchen and a bathroom and an operating room. It had enough food and medical supplies aboard to serve as an independent little hospital for a week without help from the outside world. Its full name was the Martha Simmons Memorial Mobile Disaster Unit, named in honor of the wife of Newbert Simmons, a county commissioner of public safety. She had died of rabies, contracted from a sick bat she had found clinging to her floor-to-ceiling living room draperies one morning.
Over.
2 physicians in the disaster vehicle named Martha were Cyprian Ukwendi of Nigeria and Kashdor Miasma from the infant nation of Bangladesh. Both were parts of the world which were famous from time to time for having the food run out. Both places were specifically mentioned, in fact, and Now It Can Be Told by Kilgore Trout. Dwayne Hoover read in that book that robots all over the world were constantly running out of fuel and dropping dead while waiting around to test the only free-willed creature in the universe on the off chance that he should appear. Dwayne Hoover was now hustled aboard Martha through big double doors in the rear just ahead of the engine compartment. Here's what Dwayne yelled in the ambulance: "Goodbye, Blue Monday." Then it seemed to him that